All right, we're live.
Yay!
Hey.
We've got a new
Yay.
face in the group. All right, wonderful to meet you, Rebecca. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm hanging. It took me a minute, but I'm here.
That's right. That's right. Earbuds make a difference. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, okay. I've got some rambunctious dogs, so hopefully they will be quiet. I can't guarantee that, but yeah, welcome. It's new moon. Here we are. The chat is upon us again. All right, and we are in the new moon right now. And it started this morning. What was the time? 9 a.m. Of course, I didn't write it down. Yes, I did. It's 7:49 a.m. Eastern time. And we are in a Taurus new moon right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, throw a little attitude in there with that one. We are. So anyone feeling very stubborn or, okay, hang on. Is anyone, I don't think anyone. Becca, are you a Taurus?
I'm a Scorpio.
You're a Scorpio. Oh my goodness.
A lot of times over.
So a Taurus does not like to be called stubborn. However, everyone else will refer to them as stubborn. So for any Taurus out there watching, please do not be offended. We mean this in the best possible way, that it really is about being very patient, calm, practical, and very slow to make decisions. But once you do, they will stick. So, and do not make them angry. All that goes out the window. but taking that time in the new moon, how we're going to incorporate that in our intentions is really kind of helpful. Even preparing for this, some of the obstacles coming up just in the last couple of weeks, particularly last week, it was so fun to think, wait a minute, Taurus is coming. And I could just utilize that. It's coming. Just take a deep breath. We're going to live through it. It's going to be okay. And now I can really stand steadfast in my decision making. But anyway, I know that we all have experiences with our intentions. And I think if we want to just kind of go around and talk about what intentions that we have for this new moon, what is really on top of mind, and what we want to focus on. How about that? Yeah.
Okay.
Shotgun, not it.
And there was
You
silence.
always go first. Really?
I normally go first. However, these last couple weeks have been such a shit show that I literally was like, okay, we got the new moon chat. I don't even know what it's in. What month is it? I'm like, yeah, that's right. The Taurus.
Okay. All right. I'll start.
Okay.
So my intentions for this entire year, so I'm always going to be talking about chakras. My entire year, this is the first time I've ever done this before. It is a full-on chakra focus for this entire year. So whatever issues, whatever happiness, whatever good things, bad things, negative, everything in between is happening, I'm connecting it with the chakras. So with that said, for our new moon, and for the Taurus time, it is the root chakra. So it is about grounding ourselves, being very connected, very patient, very quiet, very within. And I'm pulling out all the red. So I've got like all my red stones. I've got like my favorite jasper, the garnet root that I've been working with, which is teeny tiny, but there's something about this little sucker that's made me happy for so long that I don't know. I don't know. All those crystal people out there would totally understand that connection. But this has been, and it's like a little worry stone because, you know, my thumb fits in there perfectly, so I can use it as a worry stone. I love it. Got the garnet, got the jasper. I've got root chakra spray, which is just for any essential oils. It's all about patchouli, and it's all about any of the juniper, the cedar wood, the tree oils. So any of those would be
that one.
Yes, good, good. That is
I've
going to
been rolling that through my diffuser lately on the table. It's great.
man, it
My
really
sister
takes
walks
you
in
where
and
you
says,
need to
"Smells like a forest."
go. It is, yeah. It's seriously going to ground you. And then this is something that Monique did last new moon, or was it full moon? I don't remember, but it was playing with the wish paper.
Yes.
And I bought the red, even though, yeah, the paper, the actual paper itself is red to do the wish. So where we write the our intentions down and then we set them on fire and it just blows up. So I will, I'll do a video of that, not tonight, but I'll do a video of that when we get a little bit closer. But I mean, we are closer, we are in it, but I'll do a video of that when I actually sit down and do my meditation.
My sister and I looked up last night, and over our house blew one of those Chinese balloons with the candle in it. Went straight up over our house, and I could see it, and my poor sister couldn't. But it was beautiful, and I knew immediately what it was, and I knew it was a new moon. And I said, somebody in somewhere has sent that out, and I got lucky enough to see it. So I felt very included. It was very sweet.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
How you don't always see fire flowing over your house, you know, off into the trees somewhere. I was making sure it didn't catch fire. It's a little dry.
That's perfect. Was it red?
It was white, but the light inside of it made it look red.
Well, it's interesting you have a red umbrella.
I know, I saw
Yeah,
that.
that's what I was
like,
thinking.
I want to be involved. I got a red blanket.
All right.
Well,
Here.
that is the brand new umbrella for the deck. And the fact that everything around me, if you're looking,
There you go.
red flowers,
Yeah.
red flag, red bird feeder.
Really hone in on all the red to ground yourself. That's perfect.
I love it. It's making me happy.
So really, you know, for the new moon, it is really basically just meditation and really focused on what it is over the next month that is going to be the main focus of our life. But it's not taking true action right now. And that's perfect for it being in the Taurus, to start in the Taurus moon. Because it is about being patient and being very selective in your thoughts and making the right decisions and not being rushed to make any decision whatsoever at this time. And with that said, I made a little list of focuses to think about. So these will be, you know, whether it's throughout the meditation over the next couple of days. The height of the new moon is 7:49 in the morning, tomorrow morning, Eastern time. I don't think I told you guys that. You didn't know.
What?
7:49.
What time was that?
Yeah, that's the height of the new moon.
I'll be up.
24 hours before, 24 hours after, that is the magical new moon time. So it's during that time you want to do the meditation, the chill, the contemplation, and prepare for what we're going to do for the next month. So the number one thing on my list was just soul's purpose, bottom line. And with everything over the last month, since our last chat, everything has been focused on that. And it's been really good. I've used a lot of firepower to really propel some of our intentions. And I say ours because Monique is involved in some of this. And I've really used that firepower to do so. And to continue with that, but also in speaking my truth, you know, just asking for help, basically, bottom line. Like, I don't have to do it all. You know, as an Aries, I want to do freaking everything myself. Gotta delegate. I've got to ask for help. I've got, yeah, I realize I can't do it all. And that's probably my big aha moment of this month.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Who wants to go next?
Well, go for it.
Okay.
Take it away.
So, you know, patience has really been a theme for me. Just when we had our last new moon chat and really understanding how Aries operates and that it is a lot of super, charged, forward moving energy, it made me question where I had it in my own chart. And when I went and I looked, I actually have a lot of Aries in my chart. And I felt like I found a part of myself that I didn't really understand before, because I have an intense fire, and it can, discharge as anger and impatience. And I think this is the reason that I love working in my garden, because I plant these seeds and I can't make them grow. They grow when they want to. And it's a matter of coming out into the garden. And it really is a meditation for me to go through and see which seeds have sprouted and what I need to do and tend to them. And really, that's seriously been my main meditation, along with beginning to dream journal again. And just, even today, then talking about asking for help, I went and I had a meeting with a hypnotherapist who has a nonprofit practice here in town. And he is actually the one that I received my certification from a few years ago. And I sat down and I explained to him what we're looking to do. And really, the therapy program that he's developed is specifically for families that are coming out of domestic violence and human trafficking situations. And he's developed a 6 to 8 week program with hypnotherapy around that. And I just was like, it was such a beautiful aha moment to find someone, because that's kind of one of the things in the program that we said we wanted to have. And so I reached out, took a few weeks for him to finally be able to do it, but it was a wonderful feeling to just realize that when you ask for help and you put out those feelers, that the universe can respond. So that's, and about Kathy and I both the other day had taken out our Jasper stones, and, I pulled out all my root and sacral chakra crystals, some of my original stones that I had, and really getting back to the basics of like, what was it 20 years ago that I wanted to do? Am I on that path? And that goes back to what you were saying about life purpose. So
It is. Is it 20 years ago? We talked about building a wellness center.
Yeah, for real.
Basically, that's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Just takes time, man. That's all we have is time.
So that's a perfect lead in for me, because that's what I've really been focusing on the last little bit, is letting go of time, because I'm in my nutrition program, health coaching program, and that's all time based. It seems like everything is just such a time, we have my deadlines and things like that, and yet there's life goes on all the time. And so I've got these deadlines right in front of me, and yet I still have to kind of field whatever's going on with family, or just life in general. But like letting go and just letting the universe use me as a tool, however I need to be used, is what I've been open to. And oh my gosh, it has been amazing. Just the confirmations that I get. It's Kim and I were talking about the other day, because I've really gotten into using my oracle cards, and that's just kind of a little path that's just opened itself, and so things are revealing themselves, and so I'm embracing them, of course, which is way out of my comfort zone, but yet, like, today wearing my kyanite.
I love it.
I love your necklace.
Thank you.
I like that, darling.
Yeah, headpiece.
That, and just,
I want to wear
like
whatever.
I know, like this, like, I mean, when I bought this, the rose quartz, it was so big to me, and yet I just was like, I don't care what people think, if I want to wear my tank top, or if I whatever. So that's kind of the old me, new me. I like still switching back and forth because in my head I really don't care what people think, and then then I get in my head again, and then I'm like, well, yes, I do care what people think, and then, but not really. So
Yeah.
so it's fun to do this in a nice little safe environment, even though I know this is going to be on YouTube and out for everybody. It feels very safe around you ladies and feels very comfortable. And so, so to share like the things that are going on, my body very visibly gives me signs of, when I'm on the right path. And yet sometimes I ignore them, obviously, as we all do. But
Who doesn't?
Right, exactly. But yet it's been so much fun, and just to make my world a playground, which has been helping me attract other things that I really have been desiring. And yet once again, just like letting the control go. And that's been huge. So just moving forward in the new moon, I love that it's just a time to breathe, and just to just breathe and make sure that I'm grounded and on the right path.
Contemplate.
Well, whoa, hello.
Hi.
Hi. Nobody knows me. I'm new.
I know this is your first time joining us, and we're so happy to have you. And don't feel pressured to give up any of your intentions for the new moon. You don't feel pressure to have to. We're just happy to have you, and we
I
want
want to hear them. What do you mean? I want to hear them.
Oh, intentions. My intention is to survive moving in with my 87-year-old mother. You want to talk about patience?
Oh,
children, on my knees every night going, I'm not praying for patience. Just let me make it till tomorrow.
That's going to be a huge transition for both of you.
Yeah, I know. And my guy was sweet enough to come with me to help me take care of my mother and my sister. So my sister can't see and my mother can't get out of bed. So I'm, looking for some light for my home, because this is going to be my home now. And it's been rather sad and rather dark and not real cosmic. And so now
then
the
I enter
crystals
into your
are out
life.
Yes.
Right.
And the crystals are all over my, mother's tables now and salt lamps, and she can't come out of the bedroom to see it, and she'd go, you've changed my whole house, but some stuff just had to flow.
It's cohabitation.
So she said, my house is your house. She just doesn't use 3/4 of it, so we have to use the rest. And my intention for the new moon is to, like you said, go with the flow, because I don't have a lot of choice. You get to a certain point in your life and a certain age in your life, and you're like, just do with me what you will. Just let me be of service. Just take me. And then Kathy shows up.
Just trust in the universe. Just trust it. Yeah, that's it.
And she took me. So here I am.
Well, this is so perfect for you for the root chakra and being grounded, being in a new location. That's going to be a huge transition for you.
Well, and I grew up in this house from like 13 to 18. So it's not unfamiliar to me, but it's not the same house I grew up in. So, you know what I mean? They've changed everything. So it's, I put all my stuff in the house, like really in the house, like not just mom's house anymore. Like I can put my stuff there too, It's a very strange feeling.
Right.
So yeah, grounding. I come sit under this umbrella a lot. Stare at its redness. It's
Nice.
it's the biggest red thing I could find.
That's perfect.
Definitely.
So
Jen?
that's
So here's what I've been experiencing lately, which you will know is rather odd. I've been at a bit of a loss for words lately.
What?
I know, everyone gasp, audience gasps. This is the first time in my life that I've experienced this, where I don't have this dire need to share or overshare or try to get people to understand me.
Mm-hmm.
It's really shifted into wanting to understand rather than be understood, and love rather than be loved. So I've been getting into a much more grounded place within myself and learning to nurture and love myself the way that I've wanted other people to nurture and love me. Simple things like when emotions come up, I've always wanted to be a guy who would say, you know, I've got you, and like hold the back of my head and pet my face. That's something that's just always been very nurturing to me. I know Taurus is a very nurturing sign. And yesterday I had this old memory come up to me and I started feeling feelings, and I was in the bathtub and I just put my hand behind my head and I just gently pet my face. Now, a year ago I would have been like, this
Aw.
is awkward, you know, but last night I was able to very gently, lovingly touch in my face and my head and everything in this very just loving, nurturing, mothering way. And I was able to have an emotional release and cry. That was so special. And that's really indicative of the growth that I've had. And
You've hit a higher frequency.
What'd you say?
You've hit a higher frequency.
Oh, for sure. And I've felt that all throughout my life, and just how I'm showing up to situations and relationships and friendships, having more integrity, following through, not being as quick to react. And a big thing that's come up for me lately is definitely around patience. The last 5 days, every day, I've been meditating in the morning, outside, on the ground, laying flat on this red blanket. And it's so cool because I didn't know that we were going into Taurus energy. I mean, I knew we're in May, but I didn't actually take the time to sit and look at it. But that's another thing that's been happening for me, is learning to trust my intuition.
Yeah.
My intuition is saying, Jen, go lay on the earth. And I said, okay, take the red blanket. Okay, I'm doing that. And it's been wonderful to, I don't have to do any sort of visualization or anything. I just lay there and just exist and breathe. And in the Aries energy, there was a lot of fast acting stuff that I did, and my significant other did. We had like a very dramatic breakup sort of thing where I was PMSing and I'm not supposed to make decisions PMS. I know that, but then I still do it every month. And I went over and we had this dramatic thing where we cried, and I was like, well, clearly we shouldn't be together. And then like the very next day I'm like, oh, what have I done? Like it was very Aries, very much like, I need to make action, take action.
Yeah.
It's like totally opposite, where he and I are slowly, it's like two puppy dogs that were playing and got hurt and then are slowly coming back together. I don't feel the need to make any sort of quick decision or call it anything or label it anything. It's really this state of existing and trusting and giving myself over, like Kathy was saying, to the universe, to the universal flow of just, God, universe, show me what to do, where to go, what to say, and to whom, for the highest good of all. Relieve me of this bondage of self, or this bondage of ego, or this bondage of past, or this bondage of expectations. Like, allow me to just be grounded in this present moment and do this next right thing that's right in front of me. And I know that by doing that, really cool shit happens, way cooler than even my giant imaginative mind can grasp. And that's been a lot of what's going on, is just trusting and learning to stay still in discomfort. And that's a huge one for me, because I had a past of addiction and deep depression, and I've dealt with all kinds of stuff where whenever discomfort, I'd want to take action and want to drink or do drugs or overeat or hurt myself or whatever it was. And that's, of course, years and years ago. It's like a past life now. But to get to a place where I'm able to say, okay, this discomfort, by sitting in this discomfort, amazing growth is going to happen. And I don't know what it's going to look like, and I can't figure it out while I'm in it. So I just need to sit here and watch baking shows in my pajamas, and that's an okay thing to do. And just kind of chill, not take shit so seriously. And that's been a very Taurus thing for me, of like just allowing myself to be still and patient.
Mhm.
Again, the nurturing thing too. So that's really what I have experienced.
I love it.
Oh, and also,
Yeah,
Monique, it's funny for you saying about dream journals. I've started doing dream journaling too, and they're so clear. Like it's such very clear direction. Of course, they're bizarre, weird things. I'm writing it down. There was a dragon that turned into a giraffe. But you know, as I'm doing it, I'm able to say, okay, I can see what my mind is trying to tell me.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool. That's that.
awesome. I think it's great. Just to see your growth is amazing. The last few months, I've been very happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it feels to me like your, that trip that you went on to Sedona, that this new understanding that you have right now, kind of, the seeding of this understanding of patience and being able to sit with the emotion instead of trying to, medicate it away somehow, whether with this or that or whatever. That level of being able to sit it really is a skill. It's painful, easy, but oh my God.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it feels very empowering when I'm in it, because I'm learning how strong I am. And I went to therapy today. I go every Monday, and I sat down and I was like, so here's what I want to do today. First, I'm going to talk to you about how awesome I am. After that, I'm going to talk to you about relationship issues. And then I'll talk to you about this weird memory I had come up about my first gynecological experience. And she's like, oh, okay. Really, I was like, honestly, here's what I really love about myself. And I'm able to say that without apologizing or saying, I'm not being cocky, but there's no justification. I'm just saying, no, ultimately, just as I would say, here are the things that I love about Kathy, here are the things I love about Kim, here are the things I love about Mo. And then, of course, our new friend, Rebecca, I said that in that same way of like, here are the things I love about myself. And it's just very grounded and totally okay. And this past weekend, I went up to Piedmont Park with a couple of my guy friends, and we rapped in front of people.
Yeah, what was that?
You did?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The graffiti behind you?
What?
Was that with the graffiti behind you? Or that was something else?
The graffiti. Yes. Yeah, there was graffiti behind me. It was in Piedmont Park. There's this beautiful bridge, and we went under the bridge. They have this amp and then two microphones that attach to it, and they can play music through the amp. And I know that I'm here to speak in front of people.
Yes.
I know that I'm here to share my truth, and that's one of the ways that the universe wants to work through me. And so I'm like, well, here's an opportunity to go rap in front of people. So why the hell not? Who cares if I sound like an idiot? I have to put myself out there in order to show the universe, hey, I've known for 20 years that this is what you wanted me to do. I'm taking the action steps, so you take care of the rest, okay? Like, I'm just going to take these little next steps. Send it to me. It was like, hey, do you want to do this thing? And here's another cool thing that's been happening. Like how I said I didn't have anything to say, and now I'm like,
Here you go.
this is the last part, is there's been less thinking and more of just the other thought was, I want to go home and isolate. But instead I drove out to dinner with my friends. I'm just watching myself driving, and I'm like, and apparently I'm going, that's happening. So that's been cool too, where it's more grounded and in alignment, and I'm not as puppet finger controlling,
Yeah.
It's all been very exciting stuff.
So it's almost as if you're finding like a totally different way to express your emotions.
Yeah. And I'm learning, the relationship that I've had has been uber helpful, because he's a dad of two, and he works full time, and he's an intuitive man, but he hasn't explored it the way that we have. So we have the time or availability for me to say, okay, so my right knee is hurting, and I really looked into it, and I think it has to do with, masculinity, of course, because it's on the right side, and it's probably daddy-ish. He's like, I just want to watch Cops. I just had a really long day. It's forced me to be like, oh, I can actually be a little overwhelming. Like, I'm constantly output. And so by really bringing it in and allowing myself to process my own stuff, and it helped me realize, oh, I have this much to say because I'm meant to say it to a lot of people. It's not go to one person. That's going to be real overwhelming.
Yeah.
And harnessing it inward and instead keeping some intimacy with myself, it's helped me to, like you said, express emotion differently. And then I'm in a stronger place when I do, and it's not needy. I'm not like, oh my gosh, I'm depressed, fix it. I'm able to be more grounded in it.
That's so cool.
So
Yeah.
what made the change for you, Jennifer?
Going through this breakup with Matt, because
But y'all got back together, didn't you? Or you didn't?
We're in this place now where, so this last month was really tough, where
It was the last noon that you went over there, and you're like, no,
Yes.
we're talking.
Right. And I did, and it was great. And then he was like, you're right, we should be together, because there was some space. He took space. He had to take his space or whatever. And I would brought out my Beyonce, and I was like, we were talking, and we did. And then he said he wanted to be with me, and he was 100% sure, but something didn't quite feel right about it. A week later, huge deal, met his kids, and then within a few days, he shut down. And that lasted on and off for weeks, where he would open up, and then he would totally shut down for days, and I wouldn't hear from him. So that was actually helpful for me, very painful and confusing, but I had to trust my intuition and trust what I was feeling rather than what I was getting from him. He was being that, but I recognized that it was fear. I could actually feel the vibration of fear from him, and that it wasn't true. And I was able to say, okay, I need to take care of myself right now. So sulk in bed, like I would handle this in the past, I really have to be an adult here. And so that's what really did it for me, was being strung along and not knowing what. Here I am, this very intuitive person, and I'm like, dude, bro, I totally get this whole dynamic. I understand about your past relationship. I understand about some of your past lives. And he moves much slower.
Yeah.
So I had to learn to trust that and just let him have his own process. So that's what that's one of the big things that helped this shift for me. Which is crazy. It was so freaking painful.
It looks good on you. You wear it well. Keep going.
Thank you.
No
I have no
doubt.
idea what's going on. That's
Look
okay.
at you, all self-enlightened, and I just met you. I'm impressed.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
I need some of that to rub off on me. Is that why I can't shut up? Because I'm meant to talk to people?
Maybe.
That's why I created
Something to say.
because I got sick. My kid quit listening to me, so I was like, I gotta get on, and somebody's gonna want to hear what I have to say. So that's why I made a YouTube channel. So maybe you should.
Oh. I actually had a man running for magistrate who I was giving a massage to the other day. After I talked to him about Lexington, he said, "Why don't you run for office?" He said, "You seem to have an opinion."
Oh,
And I was
wow.
like, "Oh, God, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. During your massage, I'm so sorry." And he was like, "No, really, you sound like you should run. You sound like you know what's wrong with this town." And I'm like, "I do, but I have no money and no power, so nobody will listen to me, or I could fix it just like that."
Our
What
time's
are you gonna
coming.
do?
The
Well,
women are going to change the world. We're already changing it.
I say
I got
you have
stabbed.
power, you have a voice, and you have wonderful ideas that are perfect for your situation, where you are, where you're going, what you're doing. Now it's finding that self-empowerment.
I saw you kind of light up there a little bit when he said that you should do that.
I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever heard, because I've never fit in this town.
Neither
I've
did
always been
there.
an oddball. You know what I mean? As long as I've ever been here, it's been just this rather uncomfortable struggle to be me in a town that a lot of people used to be very closed-minded in. I mean, it was, I've been here, on and off for 30 years. And when I came, it was the Bible Belt and it was thumping hard.
Mhm.
And that's okay because, I'm all for going to church, but it not when you won't let your daughter go to the dance because you think it's evil. You know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
where I started getting a little bit going, oh, and
Right.
I'm not handling snakes next Sunday either.
Oh my God.
So,
Well, I
yeah.
do like to do that, but not in church with a bunch of weirdness. Yeah, just for fun.
Right. If you want to handle snakes in the backyard, that's a totally separate issue.
Or the zoo.
I'm down with that.
Or the zoo. Yes.
I'm down with snakes.
Mhm.
Just, I mean, it was hard around here. They got you for being different. They got you for sounding different, for not having an accent, for not having the lingo. You can't say you guys and have anybody turn around. You say you all and an entire town will turn around. So, you just got to know the ways.
Yeah,
Well,
and in Lexington, and Kathy too.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
I said I met Kathy and Kim in Lexington.
I know.
Probably
There
what,
are-
30 years ago, right? Wasn't that?
Yeah, maybe.
About-
Maybe you
Well-
guys, maybe. I was there my kid is 24, so she was like 20 years. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, we went camping together with
We
our little
did.
babies.
That was a wonderful camping trip.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But
Earth
I
mothers out
really
there on
do
the
think,
land.
well, I do think that we are changing the world. There's a quick, like, that undercurrent that's going on, that people are ready to listen to us, that they're craving the womanhood, the knowledge, and the very much like you said, Jennifer, the nurturing part of that. It's funny because when you said that about like holding your neck and caressing, I'm like, as my personality, I would hate that. I was like, don't touch me. But yet I love to be touched, like I do, but I'm like, not like that. Like, I don't know. It's funny, but I love to hear you saying that because I'm probably not as much of a nurturer as I nurture, I guess, in a different way. Because I'm, if somebody is hurting, I'm like, tell me how you want to be loved on, because like for me, I mean, like, leave me alone. Like, that's the best way, that's the way I want to be. But most people, I guess, aren't like that, or some people aren't. And, but I do think that the world is ready for women to show them the way, to be heard, and to give that love, and just any way that we can empower others. Like, go back to that nurturing part. And I think that things are going to change so quickly when that happens. Like, just our little collective group. I mean, like I say, I can feel the energy in my body, and just saying, we are on the right path. This is the right next step. And that we have to move forward, no matter if it's technical difficulties or whatever, that just keep showing that love and keep showing up for ourselves and for others is where it's really going to happen. And so I just felt the need to add that, because I mean, just like listening to you ladies talk, 2018 has been the year of incredible change for me. It's been a bunch of things that I've done in the past, but like this year, I decided every Sunday I was going to write a love letter to myself. Just, it really has been great. It's been really just like what you would say to somebody else, but I say it to myself, what I think is great about myself or whatever, just to show. Yeah, it feels really
Awesome.
good. And so, and then of course, and then I'm like, wow, another Sunday went past and I forgot to do that. And so, but then I'm like, oh, it's okay, because I'm a very forgiving person too, so I'm like, oh, darn, okay.
Especially of yourself, right?
Exactly. So, but go back to like the whole time thing, like not worrying about that, just saying, I am showing up. I'm doing the best I can, and I'm not worrying about little things that will hurt me. Like to have that, to be grounded, but have that good feeling. Like that's where I'm coming from, and it's been really good. So I just wanted to share that with y'all.
Excellent.
you. If you think about the three topics I threw out for us just to start for this new moon, we've really covered all of it if you think about it, because the root chakra, self-empowerment, and endurance. Keeping
Mhm.
going.
Amen.
Well, I've been doing some listening to podcasts from tantric practitioners, and tantra is not just about it's not about sex.
Yeah.
It's a whole yogic practice, but it does very much focus on sexual energy. And Kim, when you were just saying endurance, my daughter just had her baby girl, a baby boy. My baby girl had a baby. And you said endurance, and I'm like thinking in my head, like the endurance that the female body is able to go through in order to produce the next generation, and the power that we have in that root chakra. That is our source that creates life for everything. So that's ultimately, I think, the feminine energy's purpose right now is to birth these new understandings of, women leadership, women collectives, not to exclude men, but to let our voice be heard and found. That's what I love most about this circle. And, I do think you, Becky, should consider, or Rebecca should consider making a YouTube channel. And I think you should consider running for office. Look how happy it's making you to think about it.
Right?
Oh, it cracks me up because I hate politics more than you will ever know. I mean, the last thing I'm afraid I'd be in jail because I'd be chained to something protesting, you know what I mean? And I got to kind of keep a low profile in my job. The doctors get real upset when you're on the news,
Right.
We need women in political roles. There are so few.
I know. And
It's coming. It's coming.
Well, it chews the soul out of people. I mean, people that start out with the best of intentions and who have really strong integrity go into politics, and they're in it nowadays. And I'm watching people who, doesn't matter whose party or what they did a lot of good things and a lot of good work, and they're stepping out of office of their own accord just because they're going, I've done my thing. I've done everything I can. I'm going home to my wife and my kids and my family because that's what's important. And I can't blame them. You know what I mean? It'll take you away from everything that you love, and a lot of the people that, have to suffer for your scrutiny and things like that. And I mean, I'm kind of like, okay, I sure hope there's some hot, fresh blood coming up because there's some really good people stepping down. You know what I mean? And I see a lot of gray area as far as people trying to step up, you know what I mean, and take that place.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, come on. I'm counting on you, universe, kick us some goodness up there. Who I've worked on, I swear she wants to be president. That is her goal. She's 21 years old and she wants to be president. Courtney Tharp for president. I'm putting in my nomination now. Beautiful young woman, has traveled all over the world, volunteering, doing stuff. And she actually wants to be president. And she looks like a supermodel. So she would be the first supermodel president. And I believe she can do both. What's wrong with looking good and being president? I got nothing wrong with that. I got girls looking like nice, We can do this.
I'll vote for
I know, and there's silence across the room. Oh, bless me. Sorry. Just made me think, there are young people that want to step up and do it.
Yep.
I just hope they get the chance, get the opportunity. She's trying to make hers.
Change. I think we're going to see a huge change this next round of elections. And I do really look at Donald Trump as the last patriarchal president. I do really think that young people are going to come out in droves, and they're not necessarily going to be part of the two-party system. And I think that there's going to be it's going to be a whole new world next election. And that's what my greatest hope is, that we'll see some amazing new opportunities.
Well, and I hope so, because I always told Courtney, I said, look, man, you're the person that's going to be running the country when I'm old. I like you. Please go be president. You have some couth. I can't say that about a lot of people that I've met these days. Moral fiber, integrity, and cosmic at the same time. Good presidential material.
Definitely. Got my vote.
I love that you're
telling
so
you.
passionate about it. That's really special.
Well, I don't have kids. And I didn't have kids. I didn't want kids. I mentor young people. And a lot of them come across my table. And I put my hands on them. And their life unfolds before my eyes. And they need my help. And they don't just need it, with a sore muscle. They need help. And so I give it to them. And what's the point of gaining all the knowledge to just sit here on it myself and not share it with them? Or anybody else for that matter.
Agreed.
So yes, back to the voice, having the voice.
Well, I'm getting enough of that from home, because I should be using that voice, and I should be out singing right now, and I'm not. And my other half is kicking me because he wants us to go out and play.
Go
which
play.
is what I did for a living for
That sounds
3
like
years. And it's like, I'm a massage therapist now. I've been doing this for 17 years. I don't sing anymore. And he's like, you got rock and roller in there. You just dyed your hair purple, which is true. So I don't know.
In time, everything, that's the whole part of it, I really think
Patience.
like the whole,
yeah.
yes, exactly.
That's what
Yeah.
I keep saying. Nobody's listening to me. Patience, people, patience.
Yeah,
We're
you'll know
listening.
exactly when
We're
it's
listening.
do that.
Yeah, you don't have to make
Oh,
your
my
YouTube
word.
channel tonight, even though this is good. So you're already going to be on YouTube here shortly.
Yeah, you are.
Or actually, I guess you are now, technically. But yeah, we'll help you with finding your voice.
Oh, that would be lovely.
Or not finding your voice. Like, you already have your voice. We'll help you
Express.
get your direction. Express. Thank you. Yes.
Megaphone, or
I
the
need
yeah.
I need a
Well, and
big
establishing
manifesting
those-
root chakra.
Well, establishing those
Manifest.
personal boundaries too, so you could speak your voice and still maintain your own truth and integrity without spewing everything. So you're saying the right thing, doing the right thing at the right time that's perfect for you and the universal situation.
I like her so much.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Boundaries, man, that's a big deal though. I mean, that really is. That's something we could probably do a whole hour on personal boundaries and what that really means to every single one of us.
Absolutely.
I had to write a paper on it in massage school because they wanted me to talk about my personal boundaries, and I said I didn't have any, and they said that was a problem, and I said, really, why?
So then you had to write a paper on it.
Yeah, about the fact that they thought I needed boundaries. I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah, well, and who are they to say you need boundaries? You have to find your own boundaries. Nobody can tell you what your personal boundaries are.
I mean, I guess I can appreciate the fact that I was in massage school and they were trying, to give me some sense of how not to get caught up in other people's drama, maybe.
Yeah.
But life is drama, and you're going to get caught up in it. And if you're not willing to get messy, then go home.
I like that
So-
phrase. If you're not willing to get messy, go home. Cool.
Well, that's what it takes. Sometimes you get a little on you as you go by. It just
Mhm.
happens that way. Oh,
So hey, Jennifer, did you record your rap session, or did
I
somebody
did.
record it?
Yeah, it's
Ah.
been recorded.
Did you put it out there?
I haven't yet, but I'll do so today. Might as well. Just, share the voice. Yeah,
Is it the
Do it.
same one that you recorded before, or a
it's
new
a
one?
new one.
Woo!
New rap. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Can you do it now for us?
Yeah, you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nothing like the present.
All right, let's see. I need to get my little instrumental going. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but I could also just do it a cappella, but we'll see if you can hear the
Yeah,
song.
let's see if we can hear it.
One moment, please. Where's the little speaker thing? Yeah, I don't know
We
where.
love the anticipation.
Can you hear any music or no?
Yes.
Yes.
yeah.
I need to get this elephant off of my chest. I can't rest. My dreams are too real. I wake in this frame of life and must address residual energies and feelings and deal with interpretations and curiosities. Tease, I'm a tease, you're a tease. The hardwood floor waved beneath my knees. It turned out to be laminate plastic. My feet dug in, pushed down, using my dream weight to flatten, play make-believe, pretend it's still sturdy. But it's too late, so I'll just move on and call it fate. Spiritual bypass to bypass pain. I'm hurt, I'm disappointed. And it's a matter of fact that fear makes love look disjointed. The floor's waves continue as I detach, latch, scratch, hold on, no, detach, and shift consciousness. Or a new neural pathway catches and takes me on its waves. I shift consciousness, or a new neural pathway catches and takes me on its waves. Or maybe I fell into some other dream parallel. Maybe dream life is real, how can we tell? Maybe it's a way for my spirit to guide me, shift something inside me so life's heaven, not hell. Maybe it's just a game. I'd like to say it doesn't matter, that it's all the same, but that would be a lie, lying on my back, staring up at the sky, dissipating clouds with my mind's eye. I see the images, the animals, the mountains. Is it real? Is it fake? Is it all the same? In and out, up and down, flung around like Raggedy Ann. Except I've been around the block a couple 100,000 times, and by block I mean universe, and by universe I mean multiverse, and by multiverse I mean hear this verse. Tie it all together, it's a blessing, it's a curse. The seams of my rag doll are stretched out, pulled thin, and I want to pull back, retreat, retract. God, sew me back together, please put me back together, or take me away altogether, yeah. But he doesn't, or she, or it, or we, or thee, or thy will be done. So I guess if thy will is to rip off these arms and these thighs and let the filling spread out, fragmenting across the sky, puffy cotton making images, animals, mountains, my eyes become fountains, recirculating water, riding the wave, a stormy weather, whether I like it or not, I'll never know what's real or what's not. Are the clouds me? Is the sky me? Are my eyes me? Are you me? You say it doesn't matter, won't matter. I know that it'll soon be water under the bridge, secure, made of wood, supporting the weight of my full self like it should, like it said it would. But when the fountains spew too much or the clouds get too big, when the animals turn angry or the mountains point toward me, I stand tall, thinking that I am supported. You said I was supported. But then the wood starts to bow and bend. It can't hold me, stand me, understand me. Just hold my hand. The storm will pass. I say you're too much. It creaks. I can't make it. We'll never make it. It's a mess. The elephant now back on my chest. So I dive into the water that goes right under the laminate bridge, now calm to quivers, and I ride the wave as I detach, latch, scratch, hold on, no, detach, and shift consciousness, or a new neural pathway catches and takes me on its waves.
Yeah.
Dang,
Oh,
girl, that is awesome.
yes.
Thank you. So that actually came
Impressive.
from one of my dreams. It's so
That
funny,
is-
that kind of ties it all together with the dream journal thing.
Yeah.
where I was going through the thing with my whatever he is. Thing.
That guy.
That
Your
dude,
boo-
bro.
Your boo.
My boo.
He's a boo right now.
Is that for the first handful of months that we were together, he was very secure, very stable, and I was able to open up in a way I'd never done before. And then all this happened over this last month of him like opening up and closing and opening and closing and pushing me away. And so I had this dream that I was standing on hardwood floor, but then all of a sudden it started waving and it turned out to be laminate and it wasn't hardwood floor. And so I was like pushing down and pushing down. And so that's actually what started that rap of, you know, it turned out to be laminate plastic. My feet dug and pushed down, my weight to flatten, play make believe. So it's all about that journey of I can't sit there and try to force it to be hardwood floor when it's not. So I have to shift consciousness. So I go and I shift into somewhere else. And then eventually making it to the end of like, I'm standing on this bridge and I'm looking up at these clouds, but whenever, and that's fine, like, because he's been fine when I do well, but whenever I've hit places of really intense, deep emotional pain, he panics because of some of his past stuff. And so that's the whole thing about when the fountains, like when the fountains spew too much, when I cry too much, or the clouds get too big, or the animals turn angry, like whenever I have certain stuff that happens in my mind where these clouds that I'm seeing turn angry or it becomes negative or scary, that's when he starts to panic. And so that's when the waves continue. So I have to, again, detach and just ride the wave because I can't put all my weight on one person. That's what that was.
Yeah. That is the best stream of consciousness I've ever heard.
No, I like your other one too, though. I think you have at least 2 really awesome raps so far, if not more.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. And Mo, yours was awesome
ladies.
too. Your other thing was great.
I love you, but I gotta run. The mother monster is calling me from beyond.
Monster. Okay.
The mother monster.
Great to meet you.
Yeah, I am being summoned, and it has been my pleasure, ladies. Thank you so much for having
This has
me.
been great.
Okay. Thank you.
See you next time.
See you soon. See you next time. Happy New Moon.
Thank you. Happy New Moon.
Mo, how did your
I actually didn't end up doing it. I was about midway through that day. I got super tired, and by the time I was supposed to leave, I was asleep. So I still haven't done it.
Do you want to do it now? Did you want to do it now?
Yeah. You want to do it? Can you do it?
I would have to read it.
That's okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
We're doing our voice, right? We're letting the voice out.
Yeah, definitely.
Woo!
I'm just saying right now, I'm not going to perform tonight.
Next month, you two are performing something.
Oh no. Oh. No pressure, huh?
Yeah, no pressure at all. What's interesting is I've realized that, I mean, I enjoy doing the rapping because it's fun, but channeling has been coming up more for me, where just actually being in front of people and allowing whatever wants to come out, that's more resonant for me. Rapping feels safer because I channel it and then I memorize it and then I get to do it to a beat. So it rhymes. Cool. But what I really want to be able to do is just let it flow through me and talk and use my voice that way. So that's the goal that I feel like I'm working toward.
And so it is.
So it is.
Okay.
Yay, here we go.
I shall read.
So mote it be.
A drumbeat filled my soul last night. It was strong and fast. It penetrated me to my very core. I thought it wouldn't last. Arms covered in velvet sleeves on a Persian floor piece. Flowing design. Beautiful, intricate, colorful. Nag champa and lit wax combine. My eyes looked into a dark gazing glass. From my mouth hungry incantations fall. Wanting healing and relief. Ritual inside a red temple wall. Quieting myself to balance, I began to hear the sound. Like an ancient tribal trance, only it was coming from the ground. I lent my ear down to hear and heard my own heart pumping. Moving towards me, it seemed, the bass beat was jumping, beating a rhythm in my body. It was strong and fast, penetrating me to my very core. I thought it wouldn't last. As in utero, my heartbeat, I continued to listen intent. Her name became clearer and clearer, and deeper I went. A genealogy of some past, a map this rug became, a tapestry of a journey through time. Never would I be the same. And by, as it didn't stop, I continued to listen intent. And as I did, my flesh changed sight, and deeper I went. Eyes led and body followed this tribal sounding pattern. There she was in all her glory, this strongest night of Saturn. I reached out to touch her. Through my fingertips she came, my hands, my arms, and then my whole. She and I shared one frame. First, the sight of our fleshly shell was of a withered and weathered crone. I watched in terrified belief as younger and younger skin shone. Time moved backwards, as in recalling a lucid dream. The old and then the new, I am quantum, became my theme. I felt her voluptuousness as my own. She wore every inch with pride. I could hear her romantic accent. All time began to coincide. I became this woman I didn't know, but her pain I knew all too well. I remembered her passions and pain, her visions of heaven and hell. Like water wets the skin, there were waves of memory. This moment was known, another life in time, an epiphany. And in that moment, a comfort complete satisfied my heart's greatest hold. Inconsolable pain and black hole fear, the truth, I was born very old. And now every wrong that was wronged me, every pain I endure, I know turmoil's purpose. My heart has propelled me. Beauty in ashes, my cure. This woman, my soul, cried out for life, and only that, only life. No revenge or balance will silence every wayward strife. Such a strange peace has found me. I searched myself out with a vengeance, and now I am rewarded with knowledge. I am the hero of legends. I am a mother, the giver of life. With my blood, sometimes death, I create. I have no bounds, for I have found the lady who can liberate. And she fills my soul with that drum beat I heard and then I knew. Her spirit compels me, moves me, woos me. I command in her honor, in her name, I do. Yes.
That's
Just
beautiful.
transcendent. I mean, it's amazing. What a journey.
Yes, it was.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Thanks for listening. Thank you for witnessing.
You have to do that.
Yeah.
I know. I will.
Definitely.
No, it's not going to happen. It's definitely happening. They have a Thursday, I think it's like third Thursday of every month or something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe not third. I think I just missed the other one last week. So maybe it's second Thursday. I don't know.
So maybe that's one of the intentions that we can share together.
Yeah.
In this next month of being grounded and sharing our truth and sharing our voice, you can do that open mic, and I'll go to an open mic or something similar.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll encourage y'all.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you.
That's
Your support team right here.
what?
Your support team.
Absolutely. Yeah, that would have been a perfect time to go because I had some friends that were going and they actually performed together. I don't know if it was self-sabotage, but my body just would not let me.
That was the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah.
That's because that's something that I have experienced in the past.
Yeah. It was literal physical lethargy that came over me. And it would make sense if it was, you know, psychosomatic as opposed to an actual event, but there was nothing I could do to fight it. I was in
I
it.
guess you'll see next time if you for
Right.
the reaction, you know?
Yeah.
If your throat starts hurting or you start to feel tired or whatever, or if you're really able to push through it. 'Cause it might just be that the timing wasn't right for
Yeah.
one or another, you know?
Well, it's definitely still on my to-do list. I have it. I have the event bookmarked on my Facebook calendar.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, definitely keep us posted when you do, and same for you, Jennifer. Just
Yeah.
when you guys do things, we
Memorized.
totally want to support y'all.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Two things just really quick that I want to share that I actually feel scared to do. One is to channel again, because I had a YouTube channel with over 50 channeled videos and I deleted all of them. A handful,
You did all that?
deleted all of them.
Oh wow.
Oh my gosh.
That you hid it. I didn't realize you deleted everything.
Yeah, I did. So that might have actually been one of the things I did with the Aries, I think, actually. Action, delete, 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 delete.
Did it feel good though?
Huh?
Did it feel good?
It did feel good because when I first started channeling, I was working with a spiritual mentor who didn't really understand it. She told me from the beginning, she's like, I'm just here to teach you the fundamentals. You are capable of a lot more than I will be in this lifetime. So the people that I talked to about channeling had this, they told me they all had very specific ideas of what it should look like. One lady was like, yeah, well, the other person I've seen channel, when she channels, she has her eyes closed and she moves her arms around. So you're not channeling if you don't do that. And I was like, oh, because I'm like little
Okay.
beginner over here, wide open, channeling, just staring at the camera, acting like I'm talking like me, but it's coming through very clearly. And I thought that was wrong and bad. So throughout the different videos I would make, I would be like, okay, so am I doing it? Like, is this what I'm supposed to do while I'm, you know? So I'm in a place now where I frankly don't give a shit what people think about how I should be channeling. I just know that it needs to come through me. So I'm just gonna do it. And whether 5 people or 5 million people watch it, it's not up to me. But I'm the one that has to actually record it and share it. That's the one. And then the other is stand-up comedy. I want to do an open stand-up comedy so bad.
Well, can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
And it has 2 parts. I think that those 2 things and your flowetry all go together because the comedians are the prophets of today.
Ooh, I like that.
If you can get someone to agree with you and laugh, those 2 things, you're going to win them over. Even if they don't agree 100%, when you can get somebody to nod their head and laugh, you're going to create a circuitry and connection. And, you know, you're channeling, you may be the one who's creating the rap, but I think that it's coming from that same creative spark place. And I loved your channeling videos, by the way.
I did too.
Thank you. I didn't know that you guys watched them. I didn't know.
And whoever said this thing about you must change your voice and move your hand. No.
Well, because my mentor at the time was like, "Have you ever watched other people channeling?" And I said, "No, I don't think that I should because I don't want to have an idea of what it should look like." And she recommended that I do it. And there was one person who would like do all this weird stuff with his face, and like maybe, huh?
I've seen that.
Yeah, and so maybe that's how it works for him. But I realize it's just like doing the electric slide. Everyone's going to do it a little differently. There's not like a correct, exact way to do it. So that's the way I'm looking at it now is those people had no idea what they're talking about. You know, the people that said it has to look this way, it's like, no, just like creativity and art doesn't have to look a certain way. There's not like one way to paint. There's not one way to channel. But yeah, the raps are definitely, I like you call it flowetry. That's definitely channeled. When it comes out, it's just like
Yes.
easy comes out.
And when you get that comedy routine down, you're going to be able to reach so many with the comedy because you're funny. You really are.
Thank you.
And
That's one of my big passions.
I could see you bringing that all together, and especially with all the darkness that you've been facing. There's so much comedy. When you can find comedy in the pain,
Oh yeah. And I have a list of different things because I'll be driving and I'll randomly have a bit come into my head of like, you should do it about this. And a lot of it is about self-awareness, about codependency, calling myself on my shit. And it's funny. Like, as I'm saying it, I realize that what will make people laugh is not some punchline. It's that I'm saying the shit that people experience, but are afraid to say or don't realize.
The vagina pants.
Vagina pants? What?
In your article that you wrote about Sedona.
Oh yeah. Just sitting in my vagina pants for a few days because after a while it starts to get a little sour. But it's just like, well,
like that depression in your clothes for 48 hours.
Yeah. So that's the type of shit that I would talk about of like, yeah, I'm up here doing the stand-up comedy, but just so you know, yesterday I was crying while watching baking shows all day. Like that is just how life works for me. I want to be able to share about that and just silly things like how the underwear I choose when I know I'm going to see a guy versus the underwear I have for me, or like the conversations I have with my girlfriends versus the conversations I have with guy friends, and just being very, very real. Because I'd love in this lifetime to help remove the taboo around women, I don't know, like having hair and sweating and farting. Like, oh, what? Like,
yeah.
I want to be able to help women be real and men too. So just finding our voice and being silly and laughing at ourselves more. So that's a lot of what it is gently making fun of myself of like, and just like the shit show, sulkings, like this is a big one. The things that I've cried about, like the things that set me off, because I'll hold stuff in. And then like one day I was driving and I saw a Yorkie. Have I told you the Yorkie story?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I'd been holding stuff in, and I felt anxious, and I knew stuff needed to come out, but I didn't really know how to access it yet. And I'm driving to yoga, and then I see this car that has a Yorkie just with this little, out the window, and he's just so happy. And I just like lost my shit, and I was just like, I will never know that joy. Just like, I sobbed for hours after that. And a couple weeks ago, I cried because I recognized that everything's going to die eventually. Like one day, the earth is going to be eaten by the sun, which means this weeping willow right outside my door is no longer going to exist. And I grieved for like an hour of weeping willow. And like the fact that we have to breathe air, I get so upset about that and I cry about that. And so like these are I hear about of like, I'm a really fucking sensitive person, but I can laugh about it, and here's how I experience life,
Absolutely.
The balance.
Oh, yeah.
Rogan, what's his name? Carl, I can't think of his name right now, but Joe Rogan loves him. I don't know if you guys know who Joe Rogan is.
I know who Joe Rogan is, yeah.
And then this guy, I can't remember his name right now, but he's in the Zeitgeist. He's like, oh, God loves you and God's all powerful, but you need your money. I can't remember his name.
I know who you're talking about.
And he died.
He actually passed away.
Yeah, anyways, but my point is these people are coming to their own epiphanies and they're wrapping it up in humor that is packaged in a way that people, can receive information where, otherwise it would be difficult for them. And humor just allows you to kind of break down barriers.
For sure. Yeah.
So I think it's really, I love that direction for you.
Thank you. And I could do that with the YouTube video too, really. Each of them would be funny.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm glad that we had this conversation. Thank you for your
Some good intentions for the month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very exciting. So we'll have to stay in touch, and I'd love for us to email back and forth before the next new moon. That way we can just say, hey, here's some exciting victories to share or frustrations or whatever it is.
Well, I'm glad you said that. I was thinking about that along the way of it might be a fun journal to do of just a moon journal of what happens when it is our energies are together. Like, what do we want to talk about for the next?
Man.
Okay.
like a real journal of particular situations that come up that are related to our topics.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks so much for this.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, so we're saying what we talked about right now. We develop some ideas that have become a journal.
And what I'll do is I'll send out for the next new moon what the logical intentions are for where it falls in into the universe, and that way we can draw a line in between.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yay.
Mwah.
Yeah,
All
sounds
right.
great.
Happy new moon.
Happy new moon, ladies. This was wonderful. Thank you.
Hey, I
Lots
got
Yeah.
some Mimosa Paducah seeds. They're the sensitive plants. They when you touch them, they shut. They literally move where you can see them shutting. Have you guys ever seen these?
what mimosas?
Mimosa Paducah seeds. Yes.
Yeah.
And mimosa is actually a psychedelic plant too. So, there's that. But anyways, so those are getting planted.
Okay, so lots of planting this weekend. Or wait, it's
Yep.
Monday.
Yeah.
Yes, this week.
Great.
All right. Well, happy manifesting.
Happy manifesting.
Thanks, ladies. Love you.
Manifesting.
Mwah.
Love you too.
You all.
Bye.
Bye.
Until next time.
Until next
Bye.
time. Bye.